We welcome each of you who have come today to share in the celebration of the Shabbat, to share the light of the candles and the songs and the dances of rejoicing, to pray for peace and create harmony in our homes, to rest and renew ourselves for the important work that's coming, to give thanks for health and freedom, to seek faith and courage, to remember always our heritage. Let us bask in the Sabbath rays of comfort as we join with family and friends in this celebration. Amen. Have a good one.
Amen. This one working? I'll have to use this one.
Yeah. Do they work?
That one, this one works. All right, now we will light the candle. Oh, that went out already. So now we prepare to welcome the light of the Sabbath as we kindle these holy lights. And ceremonially we cover our eyes and welcome in the light of the candles. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, the King of the universe, who has sanctified us with thy commandments and commanded us concerning the kindling of the holy Sabbath lights. Baruch Asher Kidshanu Mitzvos Zivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Shabbos Kodesh. Amen. Yedid Nefesh Avarachama Mishay Chavdecha El Ritzoinecha Yarutz Avdecha Kimaya Yishtachaveh El Mul Hadarecha O dearly beloved of the soul, merciful Father, draw thy servant to do thy will. As swiftly as a deer thy servant runs, that he may bow before thy majesty. Thy love to him is sweeter than honey. Glorious one, thou who art the world's light, my soul is lovesick, pining for thy love. I beseech thee, O God, restore her health by displaying thy sweet splendor to her. She will rally with everlasting joy. Ancient faithful one, have mercy on thy dear child. Forever so long have I been yearning to behold thy glorious majesty. These things, only these, does my heart desire. Have pity and hide not from my request. Reveal thyself, my dearly beloved. Spread over me the shelter of your peace. Shed the light upon the earth from thy splendor, that we may exult and rejoice in thee. Hasten, O beloved one, show us thy grace as in days of yore. Amen. Noriya Litzur Yish'einu Nikadma panav besoda bizmiro isnari alo ki el gadol Adonai umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Psalm 95. Come and let us sing unto the Lord. Let us acclaim him, the rock of our salvation. Let us approach him with thanksgiving. Let us acclaim him with songs of praise. For a great God is the Lord, a King high supreme, above all the powers. Psalm 96. Oh, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth. Sing to the Lord, bless his name. Proclaim his salvation from day to day. Recount his glory amongst the nations, his wonders among all the peoples of the earth. For great is the Lord and highly to be praised. He is to be revered above all powers, for all the gods of the peoples are idols, but the Lord, he made the heavens. Grandeur and majesty are before him. Glory and beauty are in his sanctuary. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and majesty. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due to his name. Bring an offering and come into his courtyard. Worship the Lord in holy array. Tremble before him all the earth. Say among the nations, the Lord is king. The world is so established that it cannot be shaken. He rules the peoples justly. Let the heavens rejoice, let the earth be glad. Let the sea and all its fullness roar praise. Let the field exult and all that is therein. Let all the trees of the forest sing. Sing before the Lord who comes to rule the earth. He will rule the world with righteousness, and the peoples with his truth and his fame. Yispachu hashemayim b'sagel haaretz, yiram hayam umelo, yalo sadai v'chol asher bo. Oz yiranenu kol atzei, yoar lifnei Adonai kiva lishvot haaretz, yishbotei behel betzedek, v'yahamim be'emunah. Yadai da 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 da. Yana da 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 da. Yana da 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 da. Yana da 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 da. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. hashamayim. Hayismechu hashamayim. Hayismechu hashamayim. B'sokel haaretz. Yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam, umaloa. Yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam, umaloa. Yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam, umaloa. Yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam, yehiram hayam. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, B'sokel haaretz. A lot of people don't know where that song came from. The words we know from the Psalms that we just read, that the heavens should rejoice and the earth should be glad. But where did that tune come from? I heard from the grandson of the man who wrote that tune. The one who I heard it from is Rabbi Leifer, lives in Ashdod, which is a town in Israel on the coast. He's called the Pittsburgher Rebbe. Why? Because his grandfather, his father also, was the Rebbe in Pittsburgh. He came from the Nadverna Hasidic dynasty, the Leifer family, Rosenbaum family also. This was really the same family, just to change the name. And so his grandfather, Rabbi Yosef Leifer, was a Rebbe in Pittsburgh, and a man came to him, and we're talking about, 70, 80 years ago. We're not talking about yesterday. A man came to him and he said, Rebbe, you have to help me. My daughter, we're Jewish, and my daughter wants to abandon her faith. Can you do something? He said, okay, I'll pray for her. And he said, no. I want you to talk to her. He said, okay. You bring her to me. He said, no, she lives in Florida. I said, well, it's kind of far from Pittsburgh to Florida. Rebbe, can you please help? So in those days, it wasn't like you could just get on a plane like now. He got on the train, went all the way down to Florida, and he talked to her, and he was successful. And so on the way back, he just felt so much joy. That's why he wrote that tune. And he said the joy that he felt was so ecstatic, because it's a very famous tune. Everyone in Israel knows this song, and most synagogue-going Jews are familiar with this tune. He said it became so popular because the joy he felt at that moment exuded beyond just the joy he felt. It was a national joy. Let us welcome the Sabbath. Likras kala penei Shabbos penei Shabbos nekabelo V'echazodi come my beloved Likras kala oh to greet the bride penei Shabbos, the face of the Sabbath, Nikabla. Let us welcome. Oy Shamor v'zachor b'diburechad higish b'yanu el hameyuchad Adonai echad o Shema echad v'shem u'l'sifaves V'lesehi lechadodi likras kala penei Shabbos penei Shabbos nekabelo. Boyi v'shalom ateres balagam berina b'simcha u'tzehala toch emuneyaham segula boi chala Ay baba lechalo Shabbos Malkasa Lechadodi lekraskala Lechadodi lekraskala B'nei Shabbos Nekabelo. Come in peace, crowd of God, come with joy and cheerfulness amidst the faithful of thy chosen people. Come, O bride, come, O bride, come, O bride, O Sabbath queen, come, my beloved, to greet the bride. Let us welcome the Sabbath. Mizmor Shir, Psalm 92. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShavos. Hoy Mizmor Shir, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShavos. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShavos. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShavos. The whole wide world is waiting to sing this song of Shabbos. The whole wide world is waiting to sing this song of Shabbos. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShavos. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShavos. The angels in heaven, they sing this song of Shabbos. The angels in heaven, they sing this song of Shabbos. The whole wide world is waiting to sing this song of Shabbos, and I am also waiting to sing this song of Shabbos. The Zohar tells us, Rosa de Shabbos, the mystery of the Sabbath. Sabbath is attached to the mystery of unity, the mystery of oneness descends upon her, and the reason of the Sabbath here, evening prayer. The holy throne of glory abiding in the mystery of this oneness forms the seat of this transcendent holy King. And when the Sabbath arrives, she is placed by herself, separated from all that is wrong on the unholy side. And all manner of strife is kept from her. She remains in close communion with this holy light, and she is crowned with several crowns in the presence of the holy King. And all wanton tyrannies and lords of affliction flee from her and vanish. There is no other supernal realm in the entire universe. Her face is shining with the supernal light, and on earth she is crowned by the holy people who are endowed with new souls. And the prayer services welcome her with joy and rapture with the words, Baruch Hu Es Hashem HaMevorach. Bless the Lord is blessed. And everyone answers, Baruch Hashem HaMevorach Li'olam V'oled. Bless the Lord who is blessed for and ever and ever. We thank you, and blessed art thou, O Lord our God, the King of the universe, who brings on evenings. You have loved the house of Israel and all the world with everlasting love. You have taught us Torah and mitzvos, laws and judgments. Therefore, Lord our God, when we lie down, when we rise up, we will speak of your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and your mitzvos forever and evermore. Indeed, they are our life and the length of our days, and we will meditate on them day and night. May you never take away your love from us. Blessed art thou, O Lord, Ohev Amo Yisrael, who loves the whole world. Amen. And now we'll say the most important words in the whole Jewish Bible from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Olam V'ed. V'yahavto Eis Adonai Elohecha, V'chol avavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol ma'odecha, v'yu advarim ho'el asher nechim tzavchahim ol levavecha, v'shinanta l'benecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veisecha, v'lechtecha b'derecha, v'shachta v'chomlecha, v'sharta ma'os al yedecha, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Blessed be the name of his glorious kingdom forever and ever. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you today should be upon your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and you shall speak of them when you are sitting at home and when you go on a journey, when you lie down, when you rise up. You should bind them for a sign on your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. You should write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Shamaru v'nei Yisrochel es ha-Shabbos la'asois es ha-Shabbos l'noros bris olam beini uvein b'nei Yisroel ois hilyohoi laham ki sheishes yomim asu Adonai es ha-Shemayim v'es ha'aretz u'vayom ha'shvi'i shuvas v'yinofash. Exodus 31:16 and 17. And the children of Israel kept the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath throughout their generations as an everlasting covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. And 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and ceased from work. Blessed art thou, O Lord, our God and God of our ancestors, who kept the promises to our ancestors. We have faith that you will revive the dead, and we thank you and recognize your holiness. In your own holiness you sanctify the Sabbath day, the seventh day marking it as the end of the creation of heaven and earth, and you bless it above all days and hallow it above all festivals, as written in your Torah. Vaychulu hashamayim v'aretz v'chol tzvam vaychal Elohim b'yom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbos v'yom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa vayvorech Elohim es yom hashvi'i v'kadesh oso kivaho shavas mikol melachto asher bara Elohim lasos. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished in all their host. And by the seventh day God had completed his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work in which he had been engaged. Then God rested and blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it he rested from all the work which he had created in order for us to do. Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight shall rejoice in thy kingdom. And all the people who hallow the seventh day shall fully enjoy thy goodness. Thou wast pleased with the seventh day and didst hallow it. The most desirable of days didst thou call it in remembrance of the creation. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your commandments and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. And in your gracious love, Lord our God, grant that we may keep thy holy Sabbath as a heritage, and that Israel who sanctifies thy name may rest on it. Blessed art thou, O Lord. Mekadesh HaShabbos, who blesses and sanctifies and hallows the Sabbath. We ask, Lord, that you should accept our worship and restore the worship to thy holy temple. We thank you for everything that you give us in life, for it is truly good to give thanks to you. We wish blessings upon everyone, as it is written, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord shine his face on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his face to you and give you peace. And so we pray for peace. Osim shalom tova uvracha chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Oh, grant peace, goodness, blessing, life, and mercy to us and to all Israel, thy people, and to the whole entire world. Mevarecheinu Avinu כולנו כאחד, כולנו כאחד, ביור פניך, כי ביור פניך נשאת לנו תורת חיים, באהבת חסד וצדקה וברכה ורחמים וחיים ושלום וכל טוב and all that is good. Oh, bless us all like our Father by the light of your face. Indeed, by the light of your face you have given us, Lord our God, a Torah of life, loving kindness, charity, righteousness, justice, blessing, life, mercy, and peace, and all that is good. And may it be good in your eyes, may it please you to bless thy people, to bless the whole world at every time and all hours with your peace. For of oz v'shalom, with abundant strength and peace, blessed art thou, O Lord. Hamborech es Am Yisrael v'shalom. Amen. Who blesses the whole world with peace. Yiratzon emrefi v'egyon libi lefanech Adonai. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart find favor before thee, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom b'mromav. May he who makes peace in the highest heavens. Yaseh shalom aleinu. May he make peace for us. V'al kol Yisrael, for all the world. V'meru, and let us say, V'meru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. V'al kol Yisrael, V'meru, amen. We find ourselves now, a few things coming together. First of all, this week in the synagogue we finished the book of Numbers, the fourth book of the scripture of the Torah. And like you said, we say chazak, chazak, be strong and make ourselves strong. Chazak, chazak, minis chazek. And we begin by reading the laws of vows. And we learn how important it is to keep your word. It's interesting, I think it was I'm not sure if it was the Kedushas Levi, the Normal Melech, one of their early Hasidic masters, they taught that Lo yochel dvaroi kechol yotzim mipiv yaseh. If you don't desecrate your words, if you don't leave your words empty, if you keep your word, the plain meaning is don't desecrate your words, do everything that comes out of your mouth, keep your word. But there's more to it. Hasidic masters teach that it means if you keep your word, everything you say will come true. Meaning God will listen to our prayers in merit of our honesty. Because of our honesty, God will listen to our prayers. And there's much depth to that. Later on we read quite an interesting story in this reading that we have. The various tribes were allotted different parts of the Holy Land. Some of the tribes said, you know what, here we're in Transjordan, and this is pretty good land. We have a lot of cattle. Let's build barns for our cattle. Let's build homes for our children, and we want to settle here. We don't want to go over the Jordan. Moses wasn't too happy about that, but he asked God, and God said, okay, you let them do it, but only on the condition that when they come, that they're not finding an excuse to put aside their responsibilities, meaning all the help that we need to settle this land, you guys need to help us. But once that's done, you can leave your wives and children and your cattle here. You got to come with us, help us with our settlement, and then you can go back and settle that land. And that's what was decided. Moses answered back, though, build homes for your children and then your cattle, and do everything you say. Again, keeping your word. It's interesting, the people first mentioned the cattle before the children. And Moses said, no, you got to care about your children before you care about your possessions. It's a very important message, and also to keep your word. If you want to read, I heard, the rabbi who officiated my wedding, the Kalaver Rebbe, he lives in Brooklyn, and unfortunately he has Lou Gehrig's disease. He can't move, but his mind is still, it's so strong and powerful. Every day he's writing, just moving his eyes, kind of like Professor Stephen Hawking, a similar situation. Every day he's writing, and he wrote this week, he said, you could send your kids to the best schools and raise them in the best way, but if you don't keep your word to them, they're gonna think it's okay to not keep your word. But as long as they are raised in a world of honesty, they'll be afraid to do anything wrong, because they'll know, if I do something wrong, I'm gonna have to tell mom and dad about it. I'm gonna have to tell grandma and grandpa about it. And then they're gonna think twice before they do something wrong. And that's a very powerful lesson. But if we teach our children that it's okay to tell stories, and sometimes parents just, a kid will ask a question. I saw a comic strip, Calvin and Hobbes, and the son asked, how come the sun is high at noon and it's low in the morning and at night? And he said, well, he answered, there's, heat rises, so when it's hotter, the sun goes higher up, and cool, it goes down, so when it's not as warm, then the sun goes down. Of course, we know that's not what happens. I mean, it's true that heat rises and cold goes down, but that was the joke. So then he asked, so why does it go from east to west? And then he answered, solar winds. There is such a thing as solar winds, but he was making up something, kind of humoring his son. And he was giving the wrong answer. And a lot of times parents do worse. They tell them all kinds of stories that they know are not true. And the kids then, when they grow up and they realize that all these stories they were told, the tooth fairy and all these things are not true, well then they start to think, well maybe other things mom and dad told me are true when they really are true. And they become skeptical and cynical, and it just ruins the whole essence of life, And really, most of the time, parents say these things because they care about their children and they love them. They don't mean to hurt them. It could happen sometimes that someone has the best intentions, and they wind up making all kinds of issues. I heard from a dear friend of mine, Rabbi Siegel, he said a joke he heard from someone, Bernard Rappaport. It's always good to say something in the name of who you heard it from. So he said there was a father, he wanted to protect his family. He's looking for a job, so he decided he's going to try to learn to be a magician. And he was practicing magic. He didn't know quite what he was doing. And by accident, he turned his wife into a couch and his two children into comfortable armchairs. And he was trying whatever he could do to turn them back into human beings, and it wasn't working. He was trying all these different magic tricks, and the wife stayed a couch, and the children stayed these armchairs. So he got desperate. He had to take them to the emergency room. And he took them to the hospital, and he's waiting in the waiting room, and the doctor is examining them and trying to help them, and then the doctor comes out of the examining room, and the husband says, how are my wife and children doing? He said, oh, they're comfortable.
That's cute.
So anyway, at this time of the year, we have to learn how to be careful with what we say. These 3 weeks we mourn for the destruction of the temple. This Shabbos, in Jewish circles, we mark the yard site, the day when someone passed away, as being very holy. It's often a time to make pilgrimages to someone's grave and so forth. And this Shabbos is the yard site of Rabbi Moshe Teitelbaum, who lived about 200 years ago. He was the chief rabbi of Ehel in Hungary. He was a man who was his whole life looking forward to when will the Messiah come. He was always expecting it. One time his son-in-law showed up, and his wife said, "Oh, Erzdu, he's here." Erzdu. He thought he meant Mashiach. He didn't thought he meant the Messiah. He didn't realize it meant his son-in-law, And he ran out, and he was so convinced the Messiah was coming. He wore his Sabbath hat all week long, just in case the Messiah came. He should be dressed in his finest clothes, to the point where he had to get another 2 Sabbath hats, one for the whole week and one for the Sabbath, because he had to get a nicer one for the Sabbath. But he thought every day. It's not like it just became a custom by him. He really thought today the Messiah is going to come, so I have to be ready. And when you live like that, some people, it's not so healthy, but for him it was healthy. It was the right thing, Not everyone is on the level that's described. There was one of the, first of all, he claimed that he could see, he remembered his past lives, his reincarnations. He remembered living in the time of Moses and not being sure whether Moses was right or Korach was right. When Korach rebelled against Moses, we read the story, it seems obvious that Moses is the hero and Korach is the villain. But he said, if you were there, you wouldn't have been so sure. That's what he said. That was his first-hand experience. And he also remembered living in the time of the destruction of the temple, of the first temple. And his students said, he's being modest. He was actually the prophet Jeremiah. That's which he wouldn't say himself, but that's what he said. That's what the students said. He also claimed that it's written in the books of the Ramah Nefano, the Kabbalistic and mystical book, that in heaven Elijah the prophet is bringing sacrifices in the heavenly temple, even to this day. And so we don't have to worry that the sacrifices are not being brought, because they are being brought, just not on earth, only in heaven. And we're looking forward to the reunification of heaven and earth. And the Yismach Moshe, the Rebbe from Uel, said he saw it in a vision, and one of his great-great-grandchildren, his direct descendants, was a great-great rabbi, lived in America the last half of his life, and he's buried in upstate New York, and one of the greatest leaders in the 20th century. And he tended to be skeptical about mystical things, but he said about his great-great-grandfather, he said he was worthy to make a claim like that. Some people say they see things like that, but they're not really worthy to it. He said he was worthy to it. He was on the level. And when we discuss the destruction of the temple, which is something we mourn, there's a story that Napoleon came once on Tisha B'Av, which is coming up about a little over a week and a half. And Napoleon happened to come into a synagogue on Tisha B'Av, story goes, legend goes. And he said, what's going on here? Why are you sitting on the floor mourning? They said, the destruction of our temple. He said, oh, I didn't hear that. When did that happen? Recently? They said, no, it was 1,700 years ago. And he said, wow. He said, any people who are still mourning for 1,700 years, now it's almost 2,000 years, they're going to get it back someday. That's what Napoleon said. So, but there is an idea of what are we accomplishing with this mourning? What's the purpose of this? Are we supposed to be depressed and sad? No. The Bible tells us serve the Lord with joy. We're always supposed to be happy. So what is the purpose? What do we gain by this? The story goes, the Yismach Moshe, who I mentioned, whose yard site is this Shabbos, tonight, tomorrow. Yismach Moshe said, the story goes, he was sitting and studying with his son. He had only one son, Rav Eliezer Nissen, who was the chief rabbi of a city in Hungary, Drovic. And he was sitting learning, studying the Talmud with his son. They came across a passage that says, any generation in which the temple was not rebuilt, it's as if it was destroyed. He became very sad and despondent. What a condemnation of our generation, all these generations for the past 1,800 years since the destruction of the temple. Every generation in which the temple was not rebuilt is as if it was destroyed. We're just as bad as them. And his son tried to comfort his father, and he said, Tata, Papa, Father, you taught us that when the temple was destroyed, God took out his anger. He wanted to take out on the people, destroy the people. Instead, just took it out on the building, on the edifice, on bricks and mortar, on stones and wood. Instead of destroying the people, he destroyed property. He allowed this property to be destroyed, and not the people to be destroyed. And thereby, the people received atonement. It's an interesting thing. The legend goes that when Titus, in the destruction of the second temple from Rome, he would later become the emperor, and he entered into the Holy of Holies when he was destroying the temple, and he saw the Ark of the Covenant. Now, historically, this story is probably not true. It's probably a legend, because the Ark of the Covenant wasn't there anymore. It was already buried for a long time under the Temple Mount, even before the first temple was destroyed. The story is a good story, and the lesson is a true lesson, even if it's not historically true. The legend goes that the cherubim, the angels that were perched on top of the Ark of the Covenant, were not static, were not stable. When the people and God were on God's good side, when they were doing what God wanted, the angels would face each other. And when the people were not doing what they were supposed to do and God was upset, they had their backs to each other. You would think, what time was God more angry than when he destroyed the temple, so to speak? And what did Titus find? Not only were the angels facing each other, they were embracing each other. That means God will say, let bygones be bygones. I love you no matter what. There's an unconditional love. Let's try and work things out. Why did the temple have to be destroyed? You know, I heard, I think it was from Rabbi Orlovsky in Jerusalem. He said, you could picture a little boy every Friday in honor of Shabbos, bringing some flowers to his mother. The first week it happens, he decides he wants to bring flowers to his mother. Something in him awakened him to do this kindness, to bring a gift to his mother, and his mother loved it so much. And he saw how much his mother loved it, he decided he's going to do this every week. After a few months of doing this, one week he was too busy playing with his friends, and the day was getting late. He said, oh no, I forgot the flowers. And he quickly got some flowers. He said, Mom, here's your flowers. Without the feeling, without the love, just out of obligation. And so, same thing. If the temple was bringing these sacrifices to have this experience of a close relationship with God, then it was worthwhile. But if it was just by rote, something you got to do, God says, I don't need this. What, you got to kill these animals? Why? What purpose? If it served a purpose, it was worthwhile, but otherwise it's meaningless. And so God was like, you know what, let's wipe the slate clean. Let's forget about the temple for now. You know, God said to us, you and me, we can have a relationship with some simpler things. Until now, all the time we had all those same mitzvahs of Shabbos and kosher and tefillin and tzitzis and whatever other mitzvahs and all the holidays. So God's saying, you know what, you can have this holiness without the temple. Let's have a relationship with fewer obligations, with more meaning and more depth. And often when people fight and then they make up, they feel closer than before they fight it. That's not a reason to fight, but once it happens and then they make up, they feel more intimacy than they did before. And so that's what the destruction of the temple represents. It's a new opportunity. It's atonement. Atonement is at-one-ment. You know, there was a play, even though the person who wrote it wasn't religious. I don't remember. Ansky, I think, was the author of the play. It played a divuk. It was written in Yiddish, translated to English. And at the beginning of the play, they show this scene of a Rebbe, a Hasidic Rebbe, conducting a tish. And the Rebbe teaches like this, and I think it's a true teaching. I'm sure maybe it was written in one of the Sfarim. The Rebbe said, in ancient times, there was a temple and a high priest. And the high priest could only go into the Holy of Holies on Yom Kippur and no other time. But now we don't have a temple. But now every person could be the high priest. Every day could be Yom Kippur. Every place could be the Holy of Holies. We look forward to the restoration, but that's what we have for now.
Dave has
And so therefore, Lazer Nissen said to his father, that's what it means. Any generation which the temple was not rebuilt is as if it was destroyed, that we can have that same atonement and that same relationship with God just as when the temple was destroyed. And so the Yisbach Moshe said, my son, you have comforted me. My son, you have comforted me. At this point, we will share the Mishaberach prayers.
Hello, everyone. Hello? Okay. Myra, Rab, Ronald Hill, Mary Cheeseman, Joan Green, Jacqueline McLeod, Judy Heller, Len Rosenberg, George Schleifer, Clarissa Williams, Mildred Ham, Matthew Quashe, Leda Fernandez, Karen Thompson, Mildred Vasquez, Diana Templeton, Melba Diaz, Sheila Musey, Joe and Johnny Del Guardia, Sybil Schilling, Alberta Cruz, Norma Espinoza, Aranga Perez, Faye Julius, Eunice Turner, Gloria Daffy, Lillian Dorothy, Lax, Sandra Schulman, Mark McGramm, and it's good to see Alice down here. And we wish everybody here a very happy weekend, good health, and David and everybody in recreation. I hope you have a bright weekend.
Thank you. We pray that God should send healing to all those who need. And so now we welcome the Sabbath and sanctify it. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Amen. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, the King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the vine. And we thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, the King of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth. Amen. Thank you for joining us. God bless you, and Shabbat Shalom.
I want to tell them about
Okay,
Tuesday.
here we go.
On this coming Tuesday, Rabbi Joseph will be having a spirituality and whatever meeting at 11 o'clock. If you'd like to come, 11 o'clock Tuesday with Rabbi Joseph doing whatever he...
It's a group, yeah.
A group, spiritual
Yeah, a discussion group.
discussion group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good Shabbos, everyone. Anything you want to play? Shabbat Shalom. Hey! Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hey! Shabbat Shalom.